Welcome to Matthew 8 through 14. In these chapters, we're going to start to see Jesus interacting with people. And as he does so, he's going to get some mixed responses. I want you to kind of keep an eye out as you read for those different responses. And when you come across them, I want you to pause for just a second and think to yourself, what is my response right now? What am I thinking or reacting to right now? Because as we read the Bible, especially as we read the Gospels, this isn't about gaining more information or learning history. This is really about what is my response to one of the greatest figures in all of history, Jesus Christ. And it's okay, whatever response you want. We're going to see it in chapters 8 through 9. Lots of people are going to have different responses to Jesus. Some are going to love him and hate him. Some of them are going to think he's great. Some people are going to think he's evil. Some are going to laugh at him. Some are going to simply say, please, Jesus, leave us alone. And when we get to chapter 10, Jesus is going to send out his disciples or followers and say to them, go and do basically what I've been doing. And he says to them, listen, expect the same type of reaction. Some people are going to love you. Some people are going to hate you. Some people are going to welcome you with open arms. Some people are going to throw you into jail. And that's simply the way it was and the way it is still today. And as we go on to chapters 11 through 14, Matthew is going to focus us in really on a specific group of people who did reject Jesus. And ironically, it was the religious leaders of the day, the Jewish leaders. And so when you come across the term Pharisees or teachers of the law, those were really the Jewish religious leaders of the day who did not accept Jesus. And there's going to be some harsh words between Jesus and these leaders, and I'm not trying to soften them. They're hard to understand, they're hard to read, but I want you to understand that this is a growing conflict that is going to continue to escalate throughout the book of Matthew, and it escalated throughout the rest of Jesus' life. It really reaches a climax in our reading when John the Baptist is killed by these leaders, and Jesus realizes that he needs to maybe tone this down a little bit and put some distance between him and these leaders, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next time. I have to say a word about chapter 13. Jesus talks about the kingdom of God a lot, gives us a number of parables or comparisons to understand this kingdom. The kingdom is really the reign of God or the rule of God happening here on earth. And so when Jesus is healing people or doing miracles or teaching about God's truth and love and mercy, those are all God's values and God's reign happening here on earth. And as Christians, we're called to live that out as well. And that's what Jesus is getting at in chapter 13. He'll tell a story about a sower who goes out to sow seed. And he's letting us know that some people are going to accept the kingdom of God and some people are going to reject it. It's just how it's going to be. He'll tell us a story about wheat and wheats, about yeast and dough. These stories are trying to get us to understand that the kingdom of God is among us, it's in the world, it's happening all around us, that these things go together, the world and the kingdom of God. It's going to tell us a couple stories quickly about a guy finding a treasure, a guy finding a great pearl. He's letting us know that the people who accept the kingdom of God are really going to find it to be a joy and a value to their life. He's going to end with a story about fishing and fish that are accepted and fish that are rejected. And he's saying that the people who accept the kingdom of God and enter it are going to be accepted on the final day, and those who reject are going to be rejected. And it's a hard teaching. It sounds rough to our modern Western ears, but that's what Jesus said. Jesus was, in case you haven't figured it out, you'll figure it out in our reading this time. Jesus was very controversial. And I would be lying to you if I would tell you that I could understand everything he said or explain it all away. That's not my goal with these things. My hope is simply that you'll have an introduction, that you'll be able to understand a little bit of the story, and that you'll be able to understand some of the impact for your own life. So enjoy your reading.